Never miss a moment. Rays of sunlight began to peek between the horizontal blinds of her bedroom. One of the rays found its way across her precious 7-year-old sleeping face, painting an angelic tribal warrior picture. Rolling to her side and stretching her arms above her head, she began blinking a good night's sleep from her eyes. She stared up at her glow-in-the-dark planets and stars on her ceiling. While Saturn was her favorite planet, the shooting star always looked the coolest at nighttime. Rolling to her other side, she chanced to glance over her bed like a scout, spying out an enemy from the ridge above. Good. Her dolls were exactly where she had left them. The night before, she and her daddy had created an epic world of Barbies, Legos, and stuffed animals. She loved playing toys. But when daddy plays toys with her, entire worlds came to life in her mind. Sometimes they even wrote down their stories they made up, spinning legendary tales of the wars between the giants of Barbie Land against the tiny but mighty warriors of Legoland. Other times, the maiden of the Barbies would marry her shining prince who saved her from the stuffed animal hordes. She never told Daddy. Perhaps it was because she hadn't realized it until recently, that while she loved playing with Daddy, she loved talking to him even more. Playing with Daddy meant she got to talk to him. A lot. Snapping back to the present, she looked up at the clock. 7:30 a.m. What dreadful news! Daddy would not be home for hours. It might as well be centuries. Then a thought struck her. She would set their whole world up before Daddy got home. She would set his clothes out for him because Daddy always had to shower and change clothes when he got home from work. Maybe she could even turn the shower on for him now so he didn't have to wait for the water to warm up. No, on second thought, that would probably waste water if she turned the shower on now. Rolling out of bed, she walked past the mirror on her closet door. She didn't remember a tornado hitting the house the night before, but her hair certainly seemed to indicate otherwise. It wasn't Christmas time yet, but the weather had been much colder this week, so she wore last year's Christmas jammies to bed. Of course, it was never too early for Christmas jammies. She smiled as she saw her ankles sticking out the bottom of the pant legs. She had grown a lot this year. Daddy would no doubt say, "At least you don't have to get ready if it floods." He always said such silly things. Heading out into the kitchen, she smelled banana bread in the oven. It was going to be a good day. Anything Mommy baked was delicious, but that banana bread could make her do a triumphant shimmy with each bite. Mommy was amazing, and if she was being completely honest, she probably loved Mommy even more than Daddy. But there was something so special about those daddy-daughter moments. He was her protector, and there was something about her interactions with him that made her feel valuable. Daddy always said a daddy's job was to be a tangible example of Jesus' love for her. She had no idea what that meant, but if it meant more time with Daddy, she was good with it. After breakfast, she got dressed and went out back to check on the family chickens. While carrying the eggs back to the house, she almost dropped one. Daddy always reminded her to take her time, saying with a smirk, "If you make a mistake while rushing, it defeats the purpose of rushing, doesn't it?" As she entered the house with the eggs, she thought it must almost be time for Daddy to get home. She'd already eaten breakfast, got dressed, and collected eggs. To her dismay, it wasn't 9 o'clock yet. She turned to Mommy and asked, "Are the clock batteries broken? The clock isn't moving." A chuckling Mommy responded, "The clock is plugged into the electricity, sweetie. It doesn't have batteries." Raising a palm to her forehead, she shuffled back out of the kitchen. As the day went on, she kept glaring at the clock, willing it to speed up. She read books, rearranged their world of toys, and confirmed Mommy didn't pick up the clothes she'd put out for Daddy. The day went on, and eventually, she thought she heard something through her open bedroom window. The sound of tires on their graveled driveway. She froze, straining to confirm what she thought she heard. Yes, it was. Flying down the wood floor hallway, her socks playing the role of ice skates perfectly, she careened off one wall before regaining her balance while screaming, "Daddy's home!" Bolting out the garage door, she found him. Daddy was getting out of the driver's seat of Old Faithful, as she had so proudly dubbed his 2014 Toyota Corolla with hail damage. She met his eyes as she raced out of the garage. She couldn't wait to tell him his clothes were ready. Their Barbie Lego world was built and ready to go, and there might be something wrong with their clocks. As she collided with him like a middle linebacker lighting up a slot receiver running a 5-yard in, she wrapped her arms around him and couldn't believe he was finally home. Then something happened. Daddy gave her a hug, sure, but it was not that usual vortex hug. She pressed on, undeterred. "Daddy, your clothes are picked out, and our Barbies and Legos are about to go to war. Hurry and shower. They've been waiting all day, and so have I. By the way, did I mention the clocks are broken?" Daddy smiled, but it was not his usual smile. It seemed like he had to try hard to make it happen. Daddy quietly responded, "Hey, kiddo, Dad had a real long day at work. I'm absolutely beat. Besides, the game is on tonight, so I'm going to relax and watch that, okay? We will get to your Barbie war another day." She stared blankly up at Daddy, uncertain how to respond. Her mind wondered, is it something I did? Is playing with me not relaxing for Daddy? I didn't know I was like a job for him. Quietly, she responded, "Okay," as she stood there watching Daddy take off his work boots, placing them into his trunk. As he closed his trunk and they began walking toward the house, her mind shifted to wondering, I wish playing with me didn't feel like work to Daddy. While the story above unashamedly spins the tale of the truly incomparable relationship between a father and daughter, the concept can be shared across all human interactions. How many moments have we missed? Whether we notice it or not, the most natural state of the human mind is to focus on ourselves and assume those around us are also focused on us. If the entire world was focused on only themselves, that leaves many moments missed in which we could have poured into another person. Let us think back over the last month of our lives. How many times have we been mentally overwhelmed or distracted by one of the following? A stressful or bad day at work, traffic or bad drivers, finances, relational conflict, extracurricular activities, professional or collegiate sports, hobbies, anything else we missed? Oftentimes, as with the case with the fictional daddy daughter moment above, we forget the moments we miss are not simply missing an opportunity to play with our kids, love on our spouse, or spend time with a friend. We are missing a moment to invest in their lives for future conversations. In the case with the daddy daughter moment, not missing these moments allows for investment in the child so that when discipline must occur, deep spiritual conversations get to occur, or difficult life situations happen, there is an established, healthy relationship as the foundation. The discipline will be more effective as she will better understand how loved she is prior to the discipline occurring. The deep spiritual conversations pointing her towards Jesus will have weight and value because she knows she is cared for and her eternity matters. The difficult life situations are more easily navigated because the prior investment has proven we care even in the small things. Our small, personal interactions are the trenches the war for eternity will be decided in. Never miss a moment. In the daddy daughter story, there are elements that are specific to a parent child relationship. However, appreciating the value of individual moments extends far beyond just these moments. Think back to those moments in your life when you felt another person may have missed a moment with you. Perhaps you were hoping to talk to someone about something on your heart. Perhaps it was less serious and you simply hoped to share a story or ask a question, but for one reason or another, the other person missed the moment. Now consider the times when we may have missed moments we could have cared well for another. Was it stress from work or life? Was it anger or irritation? Was it allowing something else to captivate our mind or attention? If it was, looking back on that moment, was whatever had captivated our attention more valuable than the moment we allowed to pass? If the answer to the last question is no, it's not something to be ashamed of or sorry for. Wasting time on something we cannot change is silly. However, should we fail to try to do better on our next opportunity, that is something to be sorry for. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Romans 12:10. In previous chapters, we've emphasized the importance of realizing most things in this life are a choice. Choosing to never miss a moment to love someone with genuine affection, choosing to take delight in honoring another is not just a choice, but a choice Christ has called us to. This, of course, begs the question, what are some practical ways we can choose to never miss a moment? Why, we thought you'd never ask. Number one, never missing a moment is a choice. We must make a conscientious decision each and every moment of each and every day to not allow non-eternal things to impact potentially eternal moments. No, of course, we're not saying every conversation we ever have is going to impact eternity. That said, we also don't want to lose sight that each moment spent with a human being could be an investment preparing for a future, eternity-altering moment or conversation. Let us treat each moment with this value. If we told you to invest $100 today with the promise it would grow to be a down payment for a house that you could gift to your child one day, we would all make that investment immediately. If we told you a conversation or a moment would be an investment that later sets the stage to lead a person to Christ or allows you to speak into their life, would you treat that moment with the same gravity? Number two, never missing a moment is a perspective. Culture insists my favorite sports team, my hobbies, my personal happiness, or my me time are the most important things in this life. How's that working out for our world? How different would our world be if we committed to a perspective shift to caring for others above ourselves? A perspective shift hinges on point number one. If we don't choose to have a different perspective, our sinful nature will naturally gravitate to the selfish choice. We must pursue a perspective in which our own personal emotions, desires, and passions take a backseat to the needs of others. We may just come to realize the continual pursuit of pleasing ourselves that has left us brutally unfulfilled is suddenly shifted when we serve others well. We will also be granted a perspective shift on the things that may have previously felt so important in our lives. Number three, never missing a moment is a call to emulate Jesus. There's a Christianese bullet point if we've ever seen one. Now hold on just a moment and hear us out. We have a man who gave up his seat at the right hand of the Father in an effort to ensure he didn't miss a moment with his creation. With the words, "Let there be," an entire universe was spoken into existence, and yet he felt it was still important enough to come to earth and engage in human interaction. He did not miss his disciples' most difficult questions because he was tired. He did not miss the woman at the well because he was fearful of how others would perceive him. He did not miss a chance to love Martha despite her choosing work over spending time with him. He did not miss the Pharisees despite their arrogance and belief he was not the Messiah. He did not miss the most crucial conversations because he was stressed about his brutal beating and savage death to come the following day. He did not miss his final moments with the men he loved most, despite knowing they would deny him the following day. No. In fact, Jesus never missed a moment. He left the throne room of heaven to set the example of how we should treat each moment. If we truly desire to be where the buck stops, we must have the mental strength to push past our worldly desires and ensure we never miss a moment.